effect. Cyprus, by the way, takes over the presidency of the European Union in a couple of weeks' time, so that could make things very interesting indeed. Well, let's talk to Alexander Apostolides, who is an economics historian at European University Cyprus in Nicosia. We haven't spoken about Cyprus at all, but how bad are things?
Good morning. Cyprus has quite a lot of problems which are similar in Southern Europe. We have increasing unemployment, we are in a double-dip recession, and our electricity situation, we have one of the most expensive electricity providers in Europe because of an explosion near our electricity factory in the summer. However, I wouldn't say we are as bad a situation as Greece. You are right to point out that our banks will need bailouts. At least the second largest bank in Cyprus will need a bailout because of investments in Greece. But unemployment, recession, and our deficits are at much lower levels. In fact, lower levels than equivalent in Spain or Italy.
Is Cyprus likely to go to the European Financial Stability Fund for that bailout?
Well, it's becoming increasingly likely. There's been a narrowing of options. The Republic of Cyprus borrowed directly from the Russian government approximately 2.5 billion at the start of the year. However, the second biggest bank has had losses of 2.5 billion. And the Cyprus government decided to underwrite a share issue. So unless private investors take up that share issue, the Cyprus government will need to buy up a substantial amount of shares to this bank, which will mean that we'll need to find where the finance, the cash, to actually purchase those shares.
And we know that with a bailout comes austerity, comes demands for reducing the level of government spending. How would Cypriots react to that?
Well, it's very interesting. The new head of the central bank, who's been appointed very recently, has suggested that we might go into the EFSF, the European Financial Stability Facility. However, Brussels seems to think that is not an option on the table, and there has seemed to be frictions within the president and the economic ministry between any new austerity. So it's a bit unclear if new austerity is coming or not, but most of us expect that new austerity measures will be introduced soon.
And the taking over of the presidency of the European Union, I mean, does that make a difference actually? Here we have a country, I think this is the first time now that a country that actually is in this kind of deep trouble will be hopefully negotiating and mediating and leading the pursuit of an agreement on all of this.
I think Cyprus is, and rightly so, has put an emphasis that it will not place an disproportional weight to issues that concern Cyprus, which include both the financial crisis and the large budget deficit, but also the well-known Cyprus problem. So I think Cyprus will try to bring a more conciliatory way of looking at the current situation in the Eurozone, at least between Southern and Northern Europe. However, that remains to be seen. It's certainly a good boom for the economy right now, at least, whether austerity has been temporarily frozen because we had to be ready for the presidency.
Thank you. That's Professor Alexander Apostolides, a historian at the European University of Cyprus in Nicosia. We'll give you some financial numbers in a few minutes' time after the headlines from the BBC.